This has been a long time coming, and I'm so excited for this. Welcome to the Solution Talk. My name is Jamie Summers, and come pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee. I'm excited to let you know a little bit about myself today, tell you what this is going to be all about, and it's going to be a really good time. So with that being said, this is me finally sitting down and having the conversation that I have been wanting to have for a very long time. The conversation that I wish I would have had with myself when I was on the struggle bus of trying to figure it all out to have the best mindset, the best life, the best health, all of it. I'm taking this conversation from behind the desk that I get to have with those that I have the honor to coach. And we are literally going to get raw and real right here together. And I am so excited for it. So here's what I want you to know. This is going to be about what I've been through, the perspective that I wish someone would have handed me, the things that I have actually trusted, seen, put in my own body, what I've coached hundreds of people through, and what has genuinely changed the lives of so many people, including mine. I want you to think of this like sitting down with your best friend over coffee, except your best friend is me, who happens to have a degree in health and wellness, has been in this industry since 2011, and has zero interest in adding to the ridiculous noise out there. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm here to cut through the BS, okay? So how about we get to know each other a little bit more? I am 43 years old, but working really hard. So you would never know it. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Matt. We have two amazing kids who are my forever best friends, Kirsten and Talon. I had them both when I was 23, but yet they are not twins. Yeah, I'll let you figure that one out. I am what I like to call a cool nerd. I love the science behind things, but I do believe that health has to work in real life, not some perfect version of it, right? It has to work in yours. I have my bachelor's in health and wellness, and I do want you to know that that is the only BS that you're ever going to get from me. So let me tell you what I have been through, because I think that you're going to maybe relate or know somebody that could relate. Okay, so back in the day, before I knew that this was the path that I was going to get to walk down with my passion, I was over 200 pounds. Okay, doing everything right. I was eating healthy. I was working out. I was taking my vitamins. I was drinking my protein shakes. I was doing all the things, right? I was exhausted. Zero confidence within myself on date nights. I was constantly tugging at my shirts. I was hiding behind my kids in every photo that I feel like I didn't want to take. I was missing out on memories because I was so like in my own way, right? I was being the absolute meanest girl to myself when nobody was listening but me. And the frustrating part was I couldn't understand what I was doing wrong, because when you're doing everything right, how the hell can you get this thing wrong? It was getting me nowhere. So I started pointing the finger at myself, thinking that, you know what, this is just how it is. Like these are the cards that I've been dealt. This is life. This is my health. This is what I'm going to be dealing with, because they're just literally in my head. I'm like, I've tried everything. Nothing is working. And at the same time, that same point in my life, I was actually going to school to be a elementary school teacher. I thought I had my life all figured out on what I wanted to do. So with that, when my youngest was in preschool, and now my youngest is 19 today, so this is a long time ago. When he was in preschool, we went to the YMCA. And instead of me driving home, I ended up going to fitness classes. Got super inspired by the instructors there. And I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, if I become a fitness instructor, then I'll be more surrounded by all things health, and then I can figure out what this missing key is, and I'll get this weight off my body. Perfect genius plan, right? Plus, if you worked there, you got your membership for free. Frugal over here. So that was a good thing. I ended up becoming an old school step aerobics instructor, and I freaking loved it. I jumped in Zumba classes because I love dance fitness. I actually went on later and taught Zumba for many, many years, and then did dance fitness on my own. And I loved it. Like, there's just something about being able to check the world at the door, get lost in the music. You're surrounded by a great community, and it was just good vibes. So I fell in love with all of it. But the problem was I was still stuck. I was still frustrated. I was still exhausted. I was still over 200 pounds. And I was 10 classes away from graduation. And I made the biggest pivot in my life. I changed my degree because I'm like, something has to give here. Everyone thought I was nuts. Okay. They were like, you're so close. You're going to have your summers off. And honestly, looking back, I mean, I probably should have finished because I'd be sitting here with 2 degrees behind my name. But back then, I knew I wanted to be a teacher in a different arena. And I was so passionate about all things health. I just felt like if I would just change my degree, chase after health and wellness, that maybe, just maybe, then that could be the missing key. Because I wasn't ready to give up on the idea that I wanted to be the healthy mom that my 2 kids deserve. So I ended up doing that. And what was really crazy is I went to school longer, I paid more money, but it was the best thing that I could have ever done because what I learned rewired everything for me. And here's the perspective that I wish somebody would have handed me when I was struggling. I'm going to give it to you today. See, the problem was never effort. The problem was foundation, specifically at the cellular level. And nobody at that time was talking about it besides my professors. I remember my professor saying, America is overfed and undernourished. And that's just something like, what? Right? And then today, I don't know if you know this, but over 73% of our US food supply is actually ultra processed, which means it's fake bullshit. It's engineered. It's imitation food that our body doesn't even know what to do with. It doesn't recognize it. And there are a lot of things that we'll get into later about all of that. But we're eating more than we've ever eaten, and we're depleted more than we've ever been depleted. And here's the part that still gets me. The same nutrients in one orange that our grandparents ate, there was a study back in the day that showed that you would have to eat 8 oranges to get the same amount of vitamin A. 8 versus 1. This is published science. Today, it's 2026. I can only imagine what that number is now. So when you tell me that you eat healthy, but yet you still feel off, believe me, I get it. I've been there. I lived it. It's so frustrating. It's like we never had a chance. But here's the thing. We're only as healthy as our cells. That is very important. That is the foundation of everything that we should build our choices off of. That is a truth that everything that I teach is built upon. Your energy, your metabolism, your immunity, your hormones, all of it starts there in your cells. And once I understood that, everything started to click. You know, I did the yo-yo diets and yeah, I lost weight. I still had dark circles under my eyes. I had meh energy. Gained all the weight back the second I stopped doing those restrictive things, not realizing that I've been sacrificing muscle the whole time, which was tanking my metabolism. Perfect, right? Absolutely perfect. So here's what I actually believe and what I coach every single person that I get the honor to have a conversation with, my best friends, my friends at the gym, everyone that I talk to. 80-20. Like, you got to live in 80-20, okay? 80% healthy, lean, and clean, 20% live your life, and don't you dare apologize for it, right? There are going to be birthdays. There's going to be cocktails that you're going to cheers. There's going to be Friday night pizzas, and I'm never going to make you feel bad about any of it because the whole point of feeling good is so that you can actually enjoy your life. And I've never told anyone to eliminate a food group, so you're not going to hear that here. Never once in 14 years. Because if you can't do something for the rest of your life, my friend, you can't expect to keep the results of that thing that you do for the rest of your life, right? That's just truth. So here's what we're going to focus on a lot here together. I am huge on mindset. Mindset is my jam, favorite thing to talk about, because I truly believe that everything in our life, no matter what we're talking about, is all going to fall or rise on your mindset. We're going to talk about nutrition that's on your plate, nutrition that's in your supplements, because that is nutrition that helps fill in the gaps. We're going to talk about exercise because those 3 things, mindset, nutrition, exercise, wrapping it around consistency, real life, that is the full circle. So now let me tell you what I trust. And this is the part where your best friend just like slides you something across the table and says, okay, you have to hear this. A few years into like walking down my passion with helping people with their health, I'm going to be real with you. My body fat started creeping back up. My brain fog was fogging. It was normalizing not feeling good, which is the one thing that I tell everyone never to do. I was so done with all of the noise out there. Everybody is just trying to sell you the next miracle in the freaking bottle. And I just wanted to give my body what it genuinely nutritionally needed. Period. The end. That was the whole ask. So when I went looking and trying to figure out how the hell can I just feel a little bit better here, I had a very clear standard. And honestly, I thought it was like impossible. I was almost like setting myself up for failure because I'm like, this doesn't exist. Okay. So I was looking for whole food derived. Whole food. That means human food chain ingredients, real food, not formulated in a lab, right? Something that was bioavailable, bioactive, proven in human clinical studies, which is super rare in the industry nowadays, actually all days, super rare. And I wanted to be able to find peer-reviewed journals, like of their studies. It's one thing to walk the walk that you talk. It's another thing to be able to talk it. And because I'm that nerd, that is what I was looking for. Because I have been in this industry for a very long time. My degree lives here. My passion lives here. I've seen a lot of companies. I've seen a lot of products, some good, some not so good. And I just know that there is nothing more expensive than a product that doesn't work. Okay. So after weeks of research, December 2019 is when I found a company called Neolife. Now, they've been around since 1958, and the science just literally stopped me in my tracks. I was like, okay, maybe this does exist. Let's see if they stand for what they're saying. Can they prove it? So I was blown away with the science, but I'm going to tell you something. I didn't say yes till November 2020. And that is a story for another day that we will get into. But I started with the 5 critical nutritional gaps. Let's see if they can help me with that, because I know that 90 to 98% of Americans deal with this every single day. I'm talking about whole grains, fruits and vegetables, omega-3s, vitamins and minerals, and complete protein with all 22 amino acids. Like, hard to find. Whole food derived, bioactive, and the clinical proof in human studies, which I said is rare, is insane. So I was like, bet. I started with 2 products that could help fill those 5 critical gaps. Okay. We'll go over all of that in another day, but let me tell you, it's 2026. I have not gone a day without that foundation. Fat loss, muscle gain, PRs in the gym, sleeping better, feeling better, maintaining the results. Simple, proven, built for real life, but I will never forget where I was because I almost gave up. And I think it's important for you to know that. I almost told myself that this is just what getting older feels like. I almost didn't even say yes, even though I knew that it was a yes from the very first week that I found this company. And that's why I built this show. Now, we're not going to only talk about the products that I trust. This is going to be very full circle health, mindset. We're going to have some laughs. It's going to be great. This is going to be real life. So this is for the person who is normalizing not feeling good every day, who's so sick of constantly feeling like they're being sold something. There's so much noise that we're trying to sift through. This is for the person that's running that same negative narrative, like self-sabotaging script that this is just the way that it is and nothing's going to work and I've tried everything. I hear you. I have been you. And I'm not going to let you say that anymore. Like, you're not going to stay there. Life's way too freaking short. The only time we ever have control of our life is now. And the best part about that is the time is always now. So I want you to never give up the hope that solutions are out there. You just need to know that they exist. So with that, every single week, we're going to talk about something that is going to add some value to your life. We're going to talk about real problems. We're going to pair it with a proven solution. We're going to get raw. We're going to get real. I'm going to share what I've been through, the perspective I wish that I would have had sooner, and what I actually trust. So next week, we're going to talk more about the 5 nutritional gaps that over 90 to 98% of Americans are walking around with every single day, what they are, what they're doing in our body right now, and what the proven whole food solutions look like. Things that we can find in our grocery stores, the supplements that we take to help fill in the gaps, and you're not going to want to miss it. So if today resonated, I want you to share this with someone who may need to hear this, because somewhere out there, there is a person that is one conversation away from not giving up on themselves. Maybe this is that conversation. So I'll see you next week. And remember, the only BS you will ever get from me is my degree. Have a healthy day.